Hello, my name is Matt Bird, and welcome to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, I'm talking with Ian Lynam from Leicestershire in the United Kingdom, who has written a book called Overthinking. Ian, welcome.
Hi there, you all right?
Yeah, great to see you today. Ian, tell us about what you do, because you're a man of many talents. You have a little port. You have I always think about you as a portfolio worker. You do a cluster of things. Tell us about it.
Okay then. Well, I pastor a church
Yeah,
and have done for nearly 15 years, along with my wife Ruth. Um, I erect staging for performances by various people in various places around the country.
some very well-known
And
ones I seem to remember.
what was that?
Some very well-known ones I seem to remember.
Very well known, yes. And also, during the summer, I do gardening,
Not
and
not
I'm
just your own
also,
gardening, but other people's gardening.
no, other people's gardens. I've got a number of customers, look after for them. Obviously, on days like today, because it's absolutely covered in white snow out there, I don't do any. But during the summer, I do quite a lot of gardening. In addition to that, I'm the grandfather of what will soon be 12 grandchildren.
Oh my
So
goodness.
another one on the way. So
God, you don't look old enough, Ian. How does that happen?
thank you. I certainly feel it on occasions.
And which of your jobs, if I can call them that, including the grandchildren, do you enjoy the most?
Enjoy the most being with the grandchildren.
Yeah,
Um, Most comfortable in the pulpit.
yeah,
That's definitely where I'm meant to be. That's where I feel the most comfortable. But being outside and doing the gardening, it's just nice to earn some money doing something that I thoroughly enjoy.
yeah.
So,
Being outside, being in nature, hopefully in the sunshine.
yeah, yeah.
Now, Ian, this is not your first book that we're meeting like this to talk about. This is your second book. So tell us, I mean, are you going to become a serial author? What's all this about?
The first book, Everyday Faith, was obviously about faith in your life all the time.
Hmm.
But I've noticed in my life there are things where you need to knuckle down and push in with some specifics. And in one area of my life in particular, overthinking, faith helped me get over it and get through it and get motivated more in life
Yeah,
um, through faith. So I felt that understanding that faith is not just a panacea, it is actually about specifics.
yeah.
So yes, I am writing more books. I've written this one, and the next one's on its way, and I've got others that are in mind.
Yeah,
Where taking the idea of faith into real situations that you face in
yeah,
life.
yeah,
Now I've got over, I don't like to say it, over 40 years of walking in faith.
yeah.
I've got 40 years of problems, 40 years of issues where faith has got me through them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So you're writing and we're publishing a book every quarter for you, which
yes,
is
in theory.
just really, and they're all themed about everyday faith,
Yeah,
making, how faith, and it's not making faith relevant, it's how faith is relevant in
yes,
everyday life and issues and the muck of life, if I can call it
yes,
that, because some of that muck's clean, some of it isn't. So it's just the real stuff of life, isn't it? And I just think it's
yeah.
such a wonderful book series, to adopt. And you're at the beginning, one a quarter. I mean, how does it feel to be moving into this season of life where you're writing a lot more than you've ever done, Ian?
The idea of writing's been there for a very long time,
Mm,
and I thoroughly enjoy the process. It's not as simple as just sitting down. There needs to be a bit more discipline in it than perhaps there is, but it's exciting. And I also think that at the end of the day, there's somebody. even if it's only one person, is going to benefit from what I've learned in my journey. And the only way I can possibly reach that person is through the medium of a book.
Yeah.
My church is small. Everybody in the church has issues, but they're not all going to be the same as the issues I've been through.
Yeah.
Um, so the likelihood of one particular person in the church, my church, benefiting from my experience is negligible. But through writing the book and publishing it and getting it out there onto Amazon and onto PublishU pages,
Yeah.
gives the opportunity that somebody who is going through something I went through
Yeah.
can actually grab hold of it and get an answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Amazing.
it's exciting.
It's very exciting. And the new book, of course, out now is called Overthinking. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I know what overthinking is. How would you describe and define overthinking, Ian?
I'll tell you when I've done about an hour's worth of overthinking. Um, it's there's a number of different ways it affects people. For me, I can literally, my brain is literally going through conversations almost 20, was going through conversations almost 24/7. I would hear a phrase and it would literally just spark off me thinking through problems, issues, ideas, whether it was things in society, whether it was things in my own life. Um, and it stagnates you, it stops you doing anything.
Yeah.
You start concentrating on that. For some people, it's about experiences they've had in their lives already, usually very negative ones, where they continually go back to it, continually try and learn something or negate it or something. But it's like having a brain that is constantly active, and not being able to silence it.
Mm,
So
mm. And what are the negative impacts of overthinking, Ian? If your brain is constantly caught up thinking about something which isn't where you are at the moment, but where your head is, what's the negative impact that upon your life?
for me, quite often it was I avoided um, situations because I would overthink what would happen in those situations. And the thing about overthinking is it's invariably negative.
Yes.
It is not a constructive, artistic. It is usually incredibly negative. It doesn't give you insight. It just rehearses
Yeah.
issues and problems. So what you tend to do when you're overthinking is decry yourself for a start,
Yes.
who you are, what you're capable of, which means quite often you don't start anything
Mm.
because you're convinced it's going to be a failure. Um, Before you've even started.
Yeah.
So you don't even end up using what talents you have got
Yeah.
because you convince yourself they're not going to be well received.
Mm.
So it stagnates your life. It stops you interacting with other people. It stops you taking chances. Um, has a very negative impact.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see. And so for you, I mean, obviously we need to read the book to find out a lot more. But can you give us one insight into how you can deal with overthinking? Because there may be someone who's listening right now who thinks, "Oh my goodness, this is where I'm at. I'm not sleeping. I can't concentrate on anything. I'm never present in the moment." You know, how might they begin to do something about overthinking?
The most important thing is to understand that you're not who you think you are. If you've accepted a life of faith in Jesus, you have him, and he was not an overthinker. And you have his mind. And learning and understanding that you can be transformed through faith is fundamental to breaking out of this,
Mm.
um, and understanding that just because it's something you've done for so long, it doesn't need to be you.
Yeah.
I think that's where the breakthrough comes, is understanding in faith that you can be transformed, you can be different, you don't have to stay in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah. And if somebody's listening to this and they're not a person of faith, you know, how would you encourage them to deal with overthinking?
It's the same reality. Is we convince ourselves we know who we are,
Yeah.
and the great message of faith is there is this transformation that is available.
Mm.
I would encourage anybody, obviously, I'm a pastor and a Christian. I would encourage anyone to look into what Christianity is, look into who Jesus was, and to look at what he actually says. So I would encourage anybody to do that in the first place. But from a completely non-faith perspective, is you can be somebody different today.
Mm.
That's the truth. Is you are not held back by all your yesterdays
Mm.
unless you choose to be.
Yeah.
So
Powerful.
if you are listening to this and you are struggling, tomorrow, well, 10 o'clock today,
Yeah.
you can be something different.
Yeah.
You can choose to do that.
Right now.
Uh, yes, and with faith, you're choosing to do that with a higher authority,
Mm.
which, as I mentioned in Everyday Faith, and I mentioned in this book, is the basis of the whole of the program of AA,
Yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous. There is a higher authority
Yeah.
who will help you
Yeah.
if you cry out to him.
Mm. Beautiful.
Um,
So, Ian, in your journey, this is your second book, and there's others coming. What was the second time round, the second time writing a book? What was the biggest obstacle you faced personally, internally?
the gardening, the grandchildren, the pastoring. It, it,
Life.
it's life. From my point of view, most of the time, I don't even know what day it is. I haven't got that major amount of structure in my life. So from my point of view is finding the time.
Yeah.
But it is just, yeah, this is something I want to do, and therefore choosing to make the time, and to actually set aside other things that are far less important to do it.
Yeah.
With the course, which I did with you for the Everyday Faith book, that was brilliant because there was that discipline there and that support and that structure. Writing this one was much more difficult because I was more on my own, and therefore had to find, there wasn't that ongoing process. But the process from the course enabled me to do it. I've used exactly the same principles that you taught in the course,
Mm.
to write the second book, and I'm using them for the third one. The same.
Yeah.
This is what worked. It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the only other thing that I added to that was several hours at a coffee shop.
There we go. The coffee shop did well out of it.
Getting somewhere where I could do it
Yeah.
and sitting there doing it,
Yeah.
and getting so much more done in that, having that environment for me.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like going to an office,
Yeah.
uh, which is part of, again, that getting some structure into it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, amazing. And I always say to people who do the Writing My Book course, actually do it once and you learn all the tools and the techniques and you acquire the templates to go on and write as many books as you ever want to write. And that's what you've done, that's what you're doing. And it's
Oh yeah,
amazing,
thoroughly recommend it.
amazing.
Thoroughly
And
recommend
so,
it.
overthinking is out there. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, you can go online and order a copy now. Um, Ian, just tell us as we wrap up today, what is your highest hope for what the book achieves in the world?
even if one person finds some freedom from it, it's going to have been worthwhile. Um, it if you aren't an overthinker, it seems you can't understand it. But if you are an overthinker, you know how crippling it actually is to relationships, to empowerment, to moving forward. So even if only one person reads it and finds an answer to their overthinking, that it served its purpose.
Yeah,
It would be nice if more did,
yeah,
but if only one person did, I'd be happy.
fantastic.
So it's certainly my journey from literally being stuck in the cycle of it to being free from it.
Mm, wonderful. Well, thank you, Ian, and thank you all for listening to the PublishU podcast, featuring the real life stories of authors from around the world. If you're interested in writing a book or a book series like Ian, then please reach out to us at www.publish.com, publishu.com. And if you enjoyed this broadcast, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.
Yeah.